Hey guys, are you here? And today there has been a little bit of construction outside, so if it is a little bit noisy, I do apologize. But anyway, let's jump into it. I am playing some Frost UA MLS. And I know what you guys are thinking. Xaryu, you just told us the best comp is RMP, RMD, etc. for a Frost Mage because you need all the stuns. I do think that's true still. I think that's the best comp if you really want to push high, push to your highest ratings. But I was playing some UA Frost MLS yesterday, and it didn't go too shabby. I actually got up in the 2600 range assets, and I think that might put me as the highest Frost Mage in the US right now, because not many people are playing Frost. But anyway, let me kind of explain to you the playstyle that I was kind of playing here with MLS. This is my first session asset, and what I was doing was just, in these first couple games, I was kind of doing like a lot of sheeps, a lot of, sheeping if we need it, if my Warlock's gonna die. If he's not gonna die, I was just trying to spread pressure with Blizzard, and Ice Nova, and Comet Storm, and stuff like that. So this is, I think this is maybe the first game that we actually played. But as I played more and more, I kind of realized, instead of sheeping, we can just do more damage, peel with damage, and instead of playing Ice Nova, if I just play Splitting Ice, I can cleave harder, on the melee or whatever we're fighting, and then if I cleave harder, Splitting Ice, and I just Blizzard, get my orb back, cleave harder, it's just this deadly chain, which makes us into kind of like an LSD, or like a really heavy spread pressure comp, where I don't even really use sheep, unless I'm, sheeping the healer, or something like that, to land the kill. But look, as you can see, the Shaman is going to go down, and I do think the sheep play style still has some viability, especially against cleaves, because sometimes you just have to sheep or you're gonna die. But with a Warlock fearing, with that Infernal stun, we have Hex. I'm really just there for the slow, the spread pressure burst, and I'm a hard target to kill because I'm blinking all over the place, and I just have a kick, and it's overall it synergizes pretty well even without sheep. So here's our next game, and I actually decided to go Splitting Ice. So I'll throw it up on the screen for you guys. My Ice Lance and Icicles deal 5% increased damage, and they're split to a second target for 80% of their damage. That's a huge damage boost. So here in this game, I'm going to be sheeping a lot less. This was as the games went on a little bit. I'm sheeping a lot less, and I'm just doing more damage. Here, I'm literally just going to be orbing, spamming Ice Lance. When I don't have an orb, I'm spamming Blizzard to get my orb back. Once I have my orb back, I orb and spam Ice Lance. And these Ice Lances cleave, guys. They cleave. Because my orb's cleaving, my Ice Lances are cleaving, everything's cleaving because that's Splitting Ice. So here, pretty big opener. I decided to Trinket and pop Temp Shield, and we Earthen Shield. My Temp, I go back to full. I have Earth Shield, and I'm sitting in the Earthen. I'm fine for the time being. I do pop Orb, and I'm spamming this damage. And look how much this cleave damage, cleave pressure this is. And my Orb is still up, and it only has 30 seconds remaining because of that Blizzard. My Orb just ended, and it has about 20 seconds left. So that's pretty crazy what you can do with that cooldown reduction with Blizzard. If I can just spam Orb, everything's going to die. I do get forced into my Ice Block here after that Earthen expires. Get pretty much just destroyed. My Shaman got caught up in a little CC, but I do end up being okay, kind of. I have Touch of Death here. This is a little scary time, I guess. The DK steals that block. He goes into the block, and I'm just fine for now. So I have an orb back already, so I pop my orb, and I just start cleaving him. Orb, Ice Lance, Ice Lance, Ice Lance. I'm casting a Blizzard to get another orb back. So my orb is still out or just about ending, and I only have 30 seconds left on my orb to cast it again. So that's kind of the whole strategy here, guys. Get those orbs back, and then just spam cleave with that Warlock. My Warlock is soloing the Shaman right here, and I actually get pretty low because there was no fears in the DPS, but he was just soloing Shaman. I don't blame him. So if they're on me, my Warlock can go and push in and solo Shaman and, do a ton of DPS. And if they're on him, what I can do is either push and try to solo the Shaman, or I can just sheep the Shaman and solo the 2 DPS. So it kind of just depends on what we want to do with our strategy. But yeah, this is a game where they're training me. I'm not sheeping at all. I'm cleaving as hard as possible with my orb, getting those orb resets with my Blizzard, and then since I have Splitting Ice, my Ice Lances are absolutely dominating this team. We did fight these guys like think like 5 times yesterday. I think we beat them every time, and it was a strategy that looked very similar to this. They had a couple close kill opportunities, but since they have 2 ice blocks, we have a Spirit Link, and they all just rot so fast. I feel like I'm playing LSD, and then eventually I have enough burst to just kill them. So you can burst down with Orb or Edmund Bolt once something gets low. So here's my favorite match that I really wanted to share with you guys. This was awesome. So this is traditionally one of the hardest things you can fight as a mage. LSD, Lock Shaman Druid. Any variation is very difficult because there's so many kicks, so much disruptions. So here I'm playing that same spec I just went over, except I am also including Dampen Magic so that we don't, I don't take as much damage from dots, 20% less, in fact. So I'm kind of just doing the same strategy, and then we just fought this team earlier in the night, and we actually lost. I changed up my strategy and my spec, and here is that game. So what I'm trying to do is spread as much pressure as possible. Just like before, I decide, all right, I'm going to unbind sheep. I'm not going to sheep. I am literally going to Blizzard as much as I can, Orb as much as I can, splitting ice as much as I can, and just kill them, whatever taking most damage. And a lot of this is because they're running that Spirit Link talent. So sheeps don't, they can help sometimes because sheep doesn't break Spirit Link, but the Spirit Link doesn't break sheep rather, but the problem is they have 50% damage reduction, so you have to just do more damage. So to compensate, I just, spamming my Orb and cleaving with Ice Lance, spamming my Blizzard to get that Orb back, and just doing this strat over and over. And my Warlock is triple dotting as well. So there's very little, like, fears. There's howls and kicks, and a lot of our strategy was actually to shut down the enemy team Warlock by, who has next kick? I have next kick. Okay, who has next kick? So we literally just didn't let him ever cast UAs, and that was actually pretty awesome. But aside from that, I'm just, look at that Blizzard cooldown. Blizzarding almost on cooldown for a lot of this game at least, and I'm trying to just keep that Orb spam up. The more Orb Ice Lances I can get and cleave, the bigger damage. I should have blinked that cap. That wasn't... I did have a blink available. I should have blinked that, but I must have been focusing on something else in the game. Putting down another Blizzard, and guys, every time this Blizzard does damage, it reduces it by half a second. So if the Blizzard's hitting, 10 pets from like a DK, a freaking Hunter, whatever, it's reducing it by 5 seconds every time, every tick of that Blizzard, which is pretty crazy. It just reduced it. And look at this. We're actually out dampening, out spread pressuring, out cleaving this Boomkin Warlock as a Frost Mage, which is pretty much insanity. If you guys have ever played Frost Mage into this, you know that these guys will pretty much always win the dampening game. So we are getting a little bit low here, and this is a little scary time. I actually click off the Spirit Link buff in my block, so my Shaman can try to pick us up. But I am blocked. We're all getting a little bit low, but they're staying low as well. So I have a little bit of burst up here, putting down another Blizzard, trying to get my next Orb, because the next Orb I know can be very lethal if I can get it on all 3 of them when they're all stacked right here. And once they all stack for that Spirit Link, it's very nice, because they all run into stack for Spirit Link, and then I just Orb and then destroy all of them. So here I Orb, I Blood Elf, I spam Ice Lances, they're all dying. Every time I Orb, it's just a triple cleave. It's awesome. So it's actually so fun. But yeah, I'm here on this Warlock. I started on the Shaman ran away. I hit the Boomkin a little bit, Boomkin's running away. I'm just hitting on the Lock. They're all going down, and it's just so crazy. It just feels like I'm barely playing Mage right now, right? Because I'm just cleaving everything, and then boom, everything goes down. I do cast Blizzard as much as possible, even when things are low, just to get that Orb back up. Look, I almost have another Orb already, so even if they were alive, I would have had an Orb in about 10 seconds to destroy these guys. But anyway, Look at the scoreboard. Top damage as a Frost Mage against 2, my Warlock, the enemy Warlock, and the Boomkin. I top damage as a Frost Mage. I thought that was so freaking cool. That was awesome. Thumbs the video up if you like that Frost Mage damage and this new spec. Thumbs it down if you didn't like this video. Let me know in the comments for what you guys want to see next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!